must have heard about the great Michael Schumacher and his World Championship cars, the Ford and the Renault-powered Benettons, and the Ferraris, with which he won 91 Grand Prix. He scored 68 pole positions, 155 podiums, 77 fastest laps, 308 Grand Prix in all he contested. But this episode, we are not going to look at the Benettons or the Ferraris. Rather, we are going to look at these two cars. His very first car and his very last F1 Grand Prix car. The Jordan B191 from 1991 and the Mercedes W03 from the Valencia Grand Prix in 2012. So let's start from the beginning of Michael Schumacher's F1 journey. And it had to do with a little bit of fortune, because the man who used to normally drive this Jordan Ford was one Bertrand Gachot. Unfortunately, he had got into an altercation and a fist fight and he was put behind bars. So Eddie Jordan was searching out for a replacement driver to fill the Jordan seat. And at that point in time, in came Mercedes-Benz, who had Michael Schumacher on their junior team. Mercedes-Benz paid Eddie Jordan $150,000 for Michael to occupy that Jordan seat. And from there on, the complete, motivated, dedicated, ultra-successful journey of Michael Schumacher in Grand Prix racing began. Till that time, at the Belgian Grand Prix of 1991, Michael had not sat in a Formula 1 car ever. During first practice was the first time he ever got into a cockpit of a Formula 1 car. The good thing was that he qualified the Jordan 7th quickest, and at the start he made 2 places and was surely destined for more before he burnt out the clutch of his car because of his inexperience with the small tiny clutches of that time. Nonetheless, he had made his mark by then, and the Formula 1 world sat up and took notice. Eddie Jordan was pretty thrilled, but his thrill lasted only for a few days before he could muster up a contract to sign Michael Schumacher to his team. In came Benetton and poached Michael away from Jordan. And the rest, as you know, Michael just went on to bigger and greater things with the Flavio Briatore run Benetton Formula 1 team. He had his first Grand Prix win a year later with the Benetton Ford, and then in 94 and 95 he took his first 2 world championships. Of course, with the Benetton B194 and the Benetton B195. If you look at the Jordan B191, it was representative car for its era. Small, well balanced, light, nimble, and in its Irish green and some shades of blue livery, it was rather distinctive, especially with the 7-Up sponsorship. Ran on Goodyear tires and by and large was a fairly competent package. For Jordan to do such a thing in his very first year in Grand Prix racing was phenomenal, and Michael Schumacher did give them a mighty big push in that one solitary Grand Prix he did for them. The model of the Jordan B191 is by Mini Champs, which has made most of the top level Grand Prix cars in 1:18 scale. Designed by Gary Anderson, this car is replicated in really great detail. Of course, there are no opening parts or such, but if you care to look at the suspension parts, the double wishbone suspension front and rear, the side ports with their decidedly absolutely enclosed area to help with the ground effects. This entire model is die-cast excepting the end plates on the front wings and the rear wing, including, of course, if you care to look in the cockpit very carefully, you will also find the FIA scrutineering stickers and whatnot. The OZ wheels shot with the Goodyear tires, absolute slicks mind you at that time. And this is a car which first came from Mini Champs in 2003. A second edition came in 2009-2010, and a third edition has just come right now in 2019, and that has come with a driver figurine. My edition is from 2003 and is one of those prized elements which is there in my shrine to show me the greatest Formula One driver of all time. And on to the Mercedes W03 from 2012. Incidentally, this is the Valencia Grand Prix edition of the W03, in which Michael scored his 155th and final podium position in his illustrious career. If you care to look at the car, it's very simple but distinctive with its step nose. There is quite a lot of the vanes on the front wing, a lot of barge boards, very tricky in the sense that Mini Champs has exceeded itself with its carbon fiber finish on the rear side pods and also within the inside of the barge boards. Overall, if you care to look at this thing, lot of tiny great details, a very good way of all the decals of every sponsor per se, and again the punched fist of Michael Schumacher, which was his trademark whenever he did a superlative job and was there on the podium. I think he knew that he was on his very last races in his career, and this was something for him to savor. Also, very detailed, if you can get a close-up there of the wheels. The Pirelli P0s have got the Michael Schumacher insignia on them. This was something which Pirelli had done for Michael in his final year, and that's replicated superbly on this car by Mini Champs. This Mini Champs version of the W03 was a special Valencia Grand Prix special edition. 1008 pieces were built. I've got one of them. And if you can compare it to the Jordan, you'll see the absolute difference in the way the rules for Formula One were configured from 91 to 2012, almost 21 years apart. And you can see the newer machine is longer, but has a longer in length, longer in wheelbase, but has a narrower track and has got far more aerodynamic appendages from nose to tail. If you're a Michael Schumacher fan, you'll of course go for the Benettons and the Ferraris every day of the week. But to give your collection that added gravitas and that start and finish to it, you must have the Jordan and you must have the Mercedes W03. Thanks for watching. Before I sign out, do think about what you would like to see from us going forward. I would say stay safe, drive safe and live safe.